Hey guys, Jamie of the Submarine Channel, welcome back. Today we're going to be making some Monkey Farts hand wash. You might be wondering the difference between a hand wash and a hand soap. So basically a hand soap has fats that have went through the sapification process, where the hand wash is using surfactants. They're both going to wash your hands just the same. It's just a technical detail why we call this a wash and not a soap. If you haven't done so already, be sure you hit that subscribe button down below. I put the recipe down below too, and a link to my blog where I go a little bit more in depth, and it also has a printable recipe if that's easier for you. So one of the surfactants that we're using in this hand wash has a really high pH, so we're going to have to bring the pH level down just a bit in this hand wash, which is super easy to do. We add a bit of citric acid, and that will go ahead and lower the pH right about to 6, which is where we would like a hand wash to be. So the first thing that we're going to do is go ahead and create our slurry. We're going to put the xanthan gum right into the vegetable glycerin. Now you might be wondering why we don't just pop the xanthan gum directly into the water. So the reason why we do that is when you do it, it's not going to want to mix in. So have you ever made gravy and like you're going to put the flour into the water and like its instinct is to clump up on you and it doesn't want to mix in? Same idea here. So the xanthan gum will not mix in properly with the water. You could probably get it to mix in, but it's going to be a whole lot of mixing and it's really not worth it. So by putting the xanthan gum in with the vegetable glycerin, we kind of hydrate it, which is going to make it a whole lot easier to get it to just quickly go into our water and mix in right away. I really wanted to have a hand wash that doesn't require any heating or a whole bunch of stirring or anything that's going to take a long time. Seriously, you could make this hand wash in like 5 minutes or less once you get comfortable making it. And then we'll just go ahead and mix this up really well. And it'll take just a minute to go ahead and mix it. You want to make sure that you mix it until there's no clumps of xanthan gum left over. And this is to go ahead and prevent clumping or fish eggs in your finished product. And then when you're mixing, make sure that you are scraping the sides of your container and kind of chopping a little bit on any of those little clumps that are in there just to get this to disperse fully. And then we'll go ahead and set this off to the side for now. So I went ahead and put the distilled water into this mixing container. Now to the distilled water, we're going to go ahead and add our vegetable glycerin and xanthan gum slurry directly into the water. And then we're going to give this a pretty good mix, and right away you'll notice that this starts to thicken up quite a bit. So we're going to go ahead and add our first surfactant. And then we're going to go ahead and add the second surfactant, which is the cocoa glucoside. And then we'll go ahead and give this a good mix. And as you can tell, this is nice and thick, like you would want a hand wash to be already. Since we are going to have to go ahead and lower the pH, we're going to add a bit of citric acid. And we'll give that a really good mix. It was sticking to my spatula there. Had to scrape it off just a bit. And we're going to go ahead and add our fragrance oil and mix that in there. And then lastly, we are going to go ahead and add our preservative. Now you might be wondering if you have to have a preservative. You 100% do, because this hand wash has water in it, right? So the last thing that you want to do is be using a hand wash that's not preserved, and then instead of cleaning your hands, you're actually adding a bunch of mold and bacteria to it. So you definitely need to make sure that you add a preservative. And then we're going to go ahead and prepare the top for our container. So the easiest way when you're doing this is you kind of want to put this part of the top where it's going to land on the bottle. And then you can come in and cut right there. And then before I put my stuff in here, I always test to make sure. And as you can see, that does go right to the bottom of the container. And then what we're going to do is go ahead and pour our hand wash directly into the bottle. It's pretty thick, but it's not so thick that you can't easily pour it in here. Now, I didn't add any color to this because I'm using a colored bottle. You certainly can add a bit of color in here if you'd like. That's completely up to you. But because I'm using this orange tinted bottle, I didn't see a point to adding any color to my hand wash. And then you just go ahead and pop the lid on. I really hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you enjoy making and using your own Monkey Farts hand wash. Bye!